So one of the many behaviors that people use in sibling or romantic relationships that tend to be sabotage, self-sabotage to that relationship is avoidance. Avoidance is very simply not engaging in the situation or circumstance at hand. Some ways in which one would avoid would be silence. Instead of having those critical conversations that one must have in order to make sure that they are heard and feeling understood, is that there must be engagement. This is not to say that all silence is bad. There are times, of course, when one must listen in order to be heard. There are times, of course, where one must process in order to give a proper response versus having an improper reaction, reaction being emotion. Those moments of silence are absolutely necessary. They are critical, but do not use those silence as weapons. That too is also critical. Excuse me if you're hearing my flip-flops down here. Perhaps if you're hearing those in those moments of silence, you want to make sure that you're processing in a way that is productive, that is fruitful, so that that will multiply in the relationship at large right now. So it's critical that you have an open dialogue. Withdrawal. Withdrawal is yet another one. Sometimes you can simply leave the room, cutting off the space or the communication that was happening within that that safe space, which should have been a safe space. And in that safe space then becomes a place of violence or a place of unsafety. You want to have a safe space so that someone feels when we're here, we will have open dialogue and clear communication. When we're here, we will give each other that respect that each one of us wants from one another, that we deserve from one another. That is a mutual respect, a give and a take. It's incredible. It's incredibly important that you understand the give and the take must happen. So you can't walk away with that withdrawal is putting up a wall between who it is you're trying to communicate, wanting to communicate with, and who it is that is trying to communicate with you. Ignore. This is the depths of dismiss, meaning you heard what the person had to say. You make every indication that you see and you hear what the person had to say, but then you completely disregard it. You completely dismiss it. No one likes to feel ignored. No one likes to feel as though they're unheard or untaken care of. No one likes to feel that way. No one likes to feel as though their voice doesn't matter. I mean, these are the things that you want within the friends around you. And these are the things that you should give within yourself. You be the world that you want. You show that to the world and let the world embrace who you are. This toxic communication can also happen in the workplace. If you're practicing these behaviors of toxic communication at home, amongst your loved ones, of course, this too is going to resonate out in the world at large, which is not where you want that. You don't want that anywhere. The hardest work that you will ever do is in the depths of your own home and in the comfort of your four walls. That's where the most work has to happen. That's how you become who you are, gloriously shining that out in the world. But you must practice in the depths of your own home, in the comfort of your four walls. Procrastination. That is dragging your feet. Again, we're talking about ways in which you can avoid, in which you're seeping into the demon that is called avoidance. It's important that you name these demons. That's how you have power over them. Knowing what you're doing, identifying what you're doing, allows you to be more receptive and active, less reactive, more responsive, more responsible. It's important that you stay in that space of healing. If that's what you really want, is healing. You must increase your communication. You must understand the demons that are getting in the way, the big demons and the gremlins that demon commands to keep you away from your glorious highest self and your loved ones' glorious highest selves as well. So these gremlins, procrastination. When you hear something that's an emergency to someone's heart, I'm not saying drop everything and run now, no, but that is to understand the urgency in which they presented it to you, the urgency of love that they presented it to you. This thing hurts me when you do this. I feel hurt when you do this thing. I feel discouraged when you say these things. I feel unloved when you own that feeling. When that person owns that feeling, you must share that bond. You love them, don't you? Why wouldn't you? If you can't give them the time to love, if you can't give them that energy of appreciation of who they are and where they are now, listen, who can? Who will? Your love cannot look like unlove to others or hate to others. It can't look that way. It must look like love. It must look like love. Last but not least, neglect. Neglect. That is careless abandonment, careless denial, complete unlove to that person's emotions, their thoughts, and their feelings. No child should feel neglected. Your inner child should not feel neglected. Your inner child should feel loved. It should feel cared for. It should feel heard. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of your inner children need to work on their communication as well. Need to work on their self-control as well. Need to work on their discipline as well. So you can't just hear every cry for however long this cry wants to happen. Of course, there has to be some control on both ways, the receiver and the sender. There has to be some control, right? And then maybe in the depths of the night or at certain times, you just let it all out. But there has to be a respective time. We must solve this. And we are authentic when we are authentic with one another. Time becomes maximally valuable. Maximally valuable. You can solve generational curses within minutes. Now that you walk in that discipline each and every day with each other, saying, we will overcome this thing. We will walk forward each and every day. Each and every day. We will walk in that forward, loving direction. And over time, we will heal one another through our communication and through our interaction. I hope that helps. I know it will. I love you all. If no one tells you, know that I do. I want you to win. I want you to thrive. And I know through better communication, through mastering the art of communication, we can help one another. We can grow. Be well. Until next time.